50 cars, 10 teams, and multiple former champions have wound their way through many battles this season to get to this point. It's the World Championship of the Junkyard Joust, the finals. Baby Cookie racing around on her new ride. Very excited about this event. Sit back, relax, and get ready for an epic long joust. Hi everybody, I'm Aaron Yonda, and welcome to the Junkyard Joust. 3 of these teams have never been to the finals. 3 of them have won previous finals, and the rest of them, well, they all won a title. But only one of them are walking away with it, and we will know that by the end of this competition. Let's take a closer look at who is facing off in this fight. The Barnstormers started off in the minor leagues early this season. They've made it all the way here, and they're ready to go. Ranked 9th out of 10. 10th ranked wildcard entry Cookies Crime Syndicate have never made it into the finals. Some say they were robbed of a chance at the finals long ago. The only 2-time champions, the Copperheads, are here again. Ranked 2, can they get a 3rd title? The Crimson Crashers, last season's champs, and they are here to defend their title. Ranked 7th. Dead and Gone have been a surprise this season. They have a very solid team. That's why they're ranked number 1. Emerald, Undercurrent, and Lamelt have been here before. They've got a strong lineup, ranked number 4. They got 3rd place last season. It's Glitzkrieg, ranked 5. The Industrial Accidents have had a wild season. They are ranked 3. They scored 2nd place last season. Jurassic Ride got 4th in the finals a couple seasons ago. They are ranked 6. And a brand new team called More Than Meets the Eye that competed in the minor leagues and has made it all the way here, ranked 8. There are 5 cars that have never been eliminated this season, and 2 of them are on the Copperheads. Even more amazing, 4 teams still have their bonus actions that they didn't use in their main events. Bonus actions, of course, awarded for 1st place in a qualifier. And now it is time to joust. Here we go. Sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling, it's the 51 Mercury for Cookies Crime Syndicate, starting us off, flying down to the end of the track, and getting ready for a hit from the 205-gram Fleet Flyer, sponsored by the Mad Brit King for Crimson Crashers. Boom, there it is. The Mercury smashed into the safety barrier. It goes curbside, and the Fleet Flyer backs down the track with that Solaire ramp in place. Jurassic Ride starting off with Velociracer, sponsored by Evil Twin. Velociracer loves a ramp, and it's no different this time, as Velociracer takes that ramp, flips over, and makes it happen for Jurassic. Not interested in the ramp, it is the Mercedes-Benz 4850 Schnabel trailer for Industrial Accidents. Sponsored by PriceX, this thing is a ramp buster, and bust that ramp it does, slotting in, and we're starting to back down. Tucker Torpedo for the Copperhead, starting them off, sponsored by Emo Dingo. And there you go, the first casualty of the match so far. Tucker Torpedo causing a chain reaction, which causes the 51 Mercury to flip over. Cookie already lost a vehicle, and one of the best. 73 Chevrolet Cheyenne Super 30 for Dead and Gone, sponsored by Sicken. This thing has not been eliminated this season. It has been solid as a rock, and it slots in nicely. Up first for Glitzkrieg, the Firehouse Fueler, sponsored by William Aronson of the Joust Network. Firehouse Fueler slams into the Cheyenne. It goes curbside, but stays on the track. We're getting farther down the track. Maybe Rare Flow can do something about that for Emerald Undercurrent, sponsored by Emo Dingo. Rare Flow doesn't quite get under the Fueler, just about starts to, but doesn't quite have enough force. Needs a little help from a nice 145-gram vehicle, Dodge Ram 2500, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. Barnstormers on the scene, smashing Rare Flow forward. Firehouse Fueler topples over and is out. A loss for Glitzkrieg, and Rare Flow continues the reign of terror. First up for More Than Meets the Eye, Scourge, sponsored by Duxie of the Joust Network. Scourge slams into the line, and the Cheyenne slides off the track. Rare Flow not able to take it down, at least not yet. It is still touching the edge of the track. Something could happen. 47 Cadillac Series 62, sponsored by AgentWebDev.com for the Syndicate. Boom, there it is. Scourge stays locked in, gets stuck on the trailer with the cow in it. Scourge has been a major asset for the Transformers team all season. We're backing down the track. Crimson knows it. They want this bus down now. Double-decker bus, 309 grams, sponsored by Zeus. Boom, there it goes. And the bus is poised precariously on the Cadillac. Bad news for Crimson. Also bad news for the Transformers Scourge. Tough thing to eliminate. It's over and flipped. Done. And now Crimson have to wrestle with the possibility they might lose this bus. Here comes the transporter for Jurassic, sponsored by Reaper EOD. Hold on to your hats, everyone. This match has just gotten wild already. The Crimson Big Boy has already been taken down. Jurassic strikes early. Devastating loss for Crimson. That's the thing that got them the championship. Helicopter transport, sponsored by Emo Dingo. Helicopter fails to lock in and starts to drive off the track already. The line is turning into a big jumble here. No eliminations, but a lot of instability. So many big vehicles. 58 Impala, sponsored by Sicken. The Impala slams into the line. Apparently lost a bumper on the way down. The bumper slams into the car that it was previously attached to. Helicopter transport makes a nice recovery. No more bumper for the Impala. 31 Doozy for Dead and Gone, sponsored by the Test Joust series over on our Discord. Fairly ineffective tap there, though. Tucker Torpedo is now falling off the track up front, still alive. The vehicle that got Blitzkrieg third place. Pierce Velocity, sponsored by Reaper EOD, slams into the line, starts to go off the track, uses that arm to stop itself from tipping over. Though we are back down the track enough that things are going to get dicey quick. Lamelt for the Undercurrent, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. Lamelt pops Pierce Velocity off the track. It stays alive, although a little wobbly on the back of Helicopter Transport's ramp. Cloudbuster for the Barnstormers, sponsored by Star Corps Industries. Cloudbuster slams into position, pushes Lamelt right underneath the Doozy. The Doozy is going up, could go over on the next hit. Almost certainly will. 126 gram Optimus Prime, sponsored by Torgoth the Infinite Horror. Kaboom! The Optimus rig absolutely wrecks two vehicles. Cloudbuster literally losing chunks, pieces all over the place. It has been destroyed. Barnstormer's gonna lose that car, and Dead and Gone lose the Doozy. Next up for the Crime Syndicate, 39 Chevy Sedan Delivery, sponsored by Farty Marty. A hard hit from the sedan. The Optimus Prime rig is thrown a couple vehicles up farther. It manages to stay alive somehow. Good balance right there. Unsafe spot though. The Tyrrell P34, sponsored by Sicken. Here comes an undercut. The Tyrrell gets underneath Lamelt and the sedan. The sedan goes over and is done. Lamelt is in trouble. Deadly undercut. 38 Dodge Airflow, sponsored by Sicken. Normally Jurassic starts off with this vehicle, but I think they wanted to take out that bus earlier in the match, and that's what they did. But the Airflow has great success right here, taking out Lamelt with the help of the Tyrrell, which now is in danger itself. Here comes the Lowboy trailer for Industrial, sponsored by Sicken. The Lowboy with a takedown on Tyrrell finishes it off, throwing it over all the cars, upside down. No more undercutter. Crimson Crashers are in deep trouble. McLaren F1 for the Copperhead, sponsored also by Sicken. Lowboy is low. The McLaren can't do anything with it. Almost gets under just for a second. We're already backing up. We knew this was going to happen. Next up, the 73 Chevrolet GMC Jimmy Sierra Custom, sponsored by Zeus. The Jimmy manages to get that McLaren underneath the Lowboy. Cannot pry it off the track, however. Maybe this will help. Turbo Beast, 110 grams, sponsored by Judy Collins. Turbo Beast drives home the nail, and Lowboy is thrown off sideways. We've seen Lowboy make some strange and unbelievable recoveries. Can it do it again? That's looking like a tough position to get out of. Next up for Emerald, Fusion Busta, sponsored by Tribble's Troublemakers. Fusion Busta slots in, the McLaren goes over, and it looks like Copperheads might lose that vehicle. So many big vehicles in this match, more so than any other finals we've ever seen. And here's another one, the Chevy Silverado, sponsored by Sicken. The Silverado slams through the line, pushes. The Jimmy goes up and overstays alive. McLaren still out. No eliminations on that hit. The low boy further over. Could it make a recovery by flipping? Mirage, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. Lightest vehicle in the match, 18 grams. Boom, gets underneath the Silverado. That thing is going over, whether it likes it or not. This thing has been a deadly undercutter. 47 Chevy Fleet Line, sponsored by K&E Stewart Agri-Services. The Fleet Line takes down that Silverado, throws it over on the Quonset hut. It goes upside down. This is a dangerous position to be in. Do not want to fall from this position. It is hard to make a recovery. Double Demon, sponsored by Judy Collins. Double Demon hits the line, starts pushing Mirage down and gets underneath. Fusion Busta does not take it out. The low boy proving a good enough landing spot. 92 Jeep Wrangler Sahara with Jeff Goldblum in the back, sponsored by Farty Marty. The line remains tight despite the fact that Mirage is up there undercutting. Looks like it may have gotten stopped up on the Dodge Airflow. Next up, the Volvo FMX truck, sponsored by Chorgoth or Industrial. At 99 grams, the lightest vehicle on Industrial, who have been deadly this season. The Jeep manages to hang out on the track. PD ejects, Jeff hangs on. And now we have a ramp set up way back up the hill. We've never seen anything like this before. Country Club Muscle, sponsored by Star Corps Industries. Country Club goes flying off of that ramp, smashes into the line, causes a little bit of trouble, but no eliminations before it self-eliminates. It has not helped the Copperheads this season, and it almost ran over one of the car show drivers. 73 Chevy Custom Deluxe 10, sponsored by Emo Dingo. The Chevy takes the ramp and has great luck with it, slamming into the cab of the Volvo, rolling over. A nice recovery. And we've got a big jumble on the track now, and that ramp is still set up. Here comes a potential undercut. Tuned Enzo Ferrari, sponsored by Sauce Automotive Sachet and Buffet. The Ferrari cannot get underneath and tumbles all the way down, goes about halfway down the track just about, makes it over to Optimus, and it recovers. Blitzkrieg happy about that. They've had mixed results with that car this season. Rocket by Baby next to take the ramp, sponsored by Jesus. Rocket by Baby goes on an epic journey, bounces off the Fleet Line, rolls a couple of times, bouncing and smashing into the Chicken Rings Onion Wings food truck, barely avoiding a couple of Klingons. Actually, I guess not avoiding that Klingon. It was crushed by the food truck. Looks like Catwoman and Tomb Raider are okay. A recovery after all that. Here comes the Ford SPT Lightning. Oh my goodness, it takes out the Volvo FMX truck. The SPT actually ramps off, hits the cab with enough force to totally knock the vehicle from the track and then make a recovery. This vehicle that's never been eliminated this season, showing why it's so good. Bumblebee, sponsored by the Test Joust series. Bumblebee slams into the pile. There's no ramp there now, and Bumblebee has trouble getting stuck up in a big pile. No eliminations after all that, except for the self-elimination by Bumblebee. 59 Cadillac Eldorado, sponsored by Sauce Automotive. Cadillac bounces Bumblebee up into the air, gives it another shot at making a recovery. Bumblebee can't pull it off, and that'll be a loss for more than meets the eye. Baseline for the Crasher is sponsored by Star Corps Industries. Baseline slams into the line. The Chevy Fleet Line backs off and manages to stay alive. And now Mirage has been thrown off the track, but is level. Pterotractyl, sponsored by Tribble's Troublemakers. Pterotractyl pops into baseline, moves the line a little bit forward, but not much. No damage on that hit. We still have 7 vehicles coming down the track. The Megalifter crane truck is one of them, sponsored by Sand Dragon Workshop. Megalifter hits the line. It is just about solid despite that massive blow. It looks like the back end of Optimus is tipping a little bit. And maybe the Tucker is going over. Purple Passion Woody, sponsored by Tim the Bear Neal. Purple Passion pushes in. Baseline gets forced up by Pterotractyl. The line moving down just ever so slightly. 71 Chevy Van for Dead and Gone, sponsored by the Sauce Automotive Sachet and Buffet. Chevy van rebounds off of Purple Passion, falls over. It looks like it could be a problem, but it manages to sort of mount itself on the Quonset hut and stay alive. A little bit of movement up front, but nothing bad, it looks like. And that van with a great survive. Jet Threat 4, sponsored by Judy Collins. Jet Threat 4 kind of exits the track and drives down all the cars that are aligned on the right side of the track. It's like Jet Threat found an alternate track to drive down, but a much safer one. That's a great maneuver when you can pull it off. Uh-oh, Optimus is sideways. High-Tech Missile, sponsored by Reaper EOD. High-Tech Missile slots in. I don't think it's going to stay like that. Gets hung up on the surfboard of the Woody. 72 Chevy Ramp Truck, sponsored by Coffee Run. The ramp truck clobbers High-Tech Missile, but look at that great recovery for Emerald. They've been relying on this vehicle for miraculous recoveries all season. Bad news for the Copperheads, they probably just lost the Woody. The RLC Club partially transform Optimus Prime, sponsored by Tim the Bear Neal. Optimus goes flying off of the ramp truck, and the Purple Passion Woody, I can't tell what happened to it. Probably nothing good. Looks like Baby Cookie is taking a ride down with Optimus, and yep, Purple Passion is out. Final car of the round. 50 cars went down the track in this round. 17 of them have been eliminated. 3 of them are going to need measurements, so we might add more to the list. Optimus Prime safe at 43. Turbo Beast good to go at 41 degrees. Anything over 45, of course, is out. And the Jimmy Sierra is at 38. Did I say 3 measurements? I meant 4. Tucker Torpedo at 44 degrees barely stays alive, and a lot of damage in that round. There are all your eliminated vehicles. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Bad news for the Copperheads. They lost 3 in round 1. Dead and Gone, Emerald, Undercurrent, and Blitzkrieg all lost 1, looking good at 4. Industrial lost 2 down to 3. More Than Meets the Eye had the same results as the Copperheads, losing 3 in that round. Barnstormers, Cookies, Crime Syndicate, Crimson Crashers all lost 2. And guess what? Jurassic Ride didn't lose a car. Perfection. We're heading on to round 2. That looks like a much safer place to hang out for the car show. And I don't know what's going on with Petey, apparently still napping under the track. Round 2, here we go. Jurassic Ride starting us off with the Dodge Airflow, their traditional starter. They had a fantastic start. Great time to step it up. It's the finals. Blitzkrieg sends down the Pierce Velocity, assuming that it will get knocked off to safety like it normally does. Fusion Buster can't help but comply, and yep, it gets off to safety, although that was close. It just about flipped over there on that hit. The Cheyenne Super 30 locks it in for Dead and Gone, and is followed up by the Fleet Flyer for Crimson. The other vehicles on Crimson Crashers are going to have to step it up this time. They have no more bus. Good recovery by Fusion Buster there. Chevy Ramp Truck for the Barnstormers handles that ramp quite nicely. Almost manages to set up sort of its own ramp. 47 Cadillac for Cookies tries to take down the ramp truck. Can't quite do it. The ramp truck stays balanced. And then the Mega Lifter crane truck smashes into the line. Ramp truck makes a full recovery. No eliminations in this round yet. More Than Meets the Eye sends down Mirage, maybe eyeing the Mega Lifter. Tough vehicle to take out, and you're gonna have to do it if you want to win this championship. The 58 Impala tries to assist with the task, and they just about succeed. Mirage gets thrown off the track as well as the Mega Lifter, but it balances, at least for the moment. The Transporter takes a shot for Jurassic, cannot get it to tip over. Close call, though. Transporter took out the bus last round. Blitzkrieg strikes, trying to take out the Transporter, and look at this. That thing has great balance, but it just loses the balance right at the end and tips sideways. It's not over yet, though, by any means. Rocket Bye Baby slams into the line, pushes the Enzo underneath the Impala, and then slides off to safety. A great run there. Transporter has made a recovery. Solid hit from the Chevy van for Dead and Gone. Mirage gets turned sideways. The Transporter partially responsible for that, between a rock and a hard place for Mirage. Double Demon punches the van for dead and gone. Cannot quite get the Enzo underneath the Impala. It's too heavy. The Dodge Ram with trailer for Barnstormers helps a lot, though. The Ferrari gets all the way underneath the Impala. It slides off to relative safety. And right now, Mirage is confirmed our first elimination in this round. Half the cars have gone down, and we only have that one elimination, although the Impala is sliding ever closer to being a second elimination in the round. Still not many. The level of competition is fierce. Helicopter Transport tries to take out the Fleet Line, cannot do it. Fleet Line rolls to a recovery, and now the Transport is in a rough spot. Optimus Prime strikes, and his hand goes flying out along with the weapon, and Baby Cookie also catapulting off the shoulders. Right now, Optimus looks to be safe, but did lose a hand. Tucker Torpedo slots into place, the second and final car for the Copperheads, who just have those two remaining. Pterodactyl traverses Torpedo Tucker, goes off the rear and escapes the track more or less, and will be followed up by Turbo Beast, who slams into the line, cannot get an elimination, manages to stay alive itself as it falls off the track a little higher back, and it would have been trouble. Rare Flow zooms down the line, goes under Turbo Beast, gets underneath Torpedo Tucker, and now Torpedo Tucker is in deep trouble. The custom Chevy with a chain reaction that sends Pterodactyl flipping over to a nice recovery. Turbo Beast gets sucked back onto the track somehow, still alive and level, and it looks like Tucker has survived for the moment. Turbo Beast in trouble now, though. That hit from baseline topples it, and if it stays like that, Blitzkrieg loses one. The Lightning hits a solid line and helps Turbo Beast out a lot. Turbo Beast has been flopping around all over the place, currently is recovered. And the Eldorado does not change that, kind of helps Turbo Beast escape the track. Tucker Torpedo has made a full recovery here. Still only one elimination. A massive bash from the Schnabel trailer, and look at Baseline recover from that. Crimson needed that recovery. Good job by Baseline. No eliminations on that huge hit. Velociracer slots in way up the hill, where it then takes a hit from Jet Thread, but it is Velociracer, and it likes this kind of thing, a dismount from the hill, and it recovers no problem over by Cookie's trailer. High-Tech Missile tries a takedown on Jet Threat, who's stuck on the wall that is the Schnabel, but Jet Threat has been proving its worth this season for Blitzkrieg. Great recovery. The GMC Jimmy locks in. We are so far up the hill now, we're basically almost back to the top. Jeff and the Jeep Wrangler slam into the line. It doesn't break. Wow, it looks like it's gonna, but it doesn't yet. We're in record territory backing up that hill. That was, however, the final car of the round. No further eliminations, and we're gonna take a couple of measurements, but if my eyes are not deceiving me, we might have only lost one car in this round. The measurement on the Dodge Ram goes well for Barnstormers, 39, and Copperheads are not gonna lose their big vehicle, 37 degrees. One elimination in round 2 of the finals. You're here for a competition, you're gonna get it. More Than Meets the Eye are in trouble now. They are down to just one. No other team is in that position. They need to keep Optimus Prime alive. Jurassic Ride, still no eliminations on their team as they start off round 3 in this joust. Can you believe we almost went to increased speeds in round 2 of the finals? If Mirage had survived, this would be a whole different ball game. The level of competition, unbelievable, so fierce. And now we have a ramp set up with the Fleet Flyer for Crimson. Cookie's Crime Syndicate still have 3, and the Fleet Flyer proving valuable in this situation as it tumbles, drives, flips over to a recovery by the Junkyard Joust fans in their mopeds. Industrial is wise to the ramp. Really the only ramp in this match, and Industrial can always stop it with the Schnabel, although that was a little bouncy. The Dodge Ram tries to use pure muscle to break the line and cannot do it. This line is so solid. We have never seen a line like this in Junkyard Joust. Tucker Torpedo manages to stay on the track, although it's curbside on what is sort of a ramp, but not really in the Dodge Ram. There goes Optimus Prime. Baby Cookie flies all the way up to the crates. Prime sort of dives over the Dodge Ram and looks kind of close right now, but that's a survive, or meets the eye still alive. Velociracer not able to escape the track, climbs on top of Tucker, and then gets launched completely by Rocket by Baby. Both cars go flying down just about to the end of the line. Rocket by Baby with multiple rolls to a recovery. What a great job there. Velociracer also survives. Chevy van pushes into the line, makes a bit of a jumble with Tucker. Optimus is going over. Turbo Beast with a huge slam. Tucker Torpedo is flipped over from the impact. Optimus barely stays alive, using his arms to keep from going over. Huge loss for the Copperheads. Double Demon hits the line. Turbo Beast pushed off the track but stays level. The van for Dead and Gone still going. Tucker is done. 47 Cadillac with a brutal hit. Double Demon, though, survives it. Flips over right at the end. The van goes up but stays around. Turbo Beast escapes completely. No chance of recovery for Tucker. Helicopter transport smashes into place. The Dodge Ram is going up. It could go over. It looks like it's out right now. I doubt it will stay like that. The SVT Lightning launches off helicopter transport, angles off to try to help its teammate, but cannot do anything for the Dodge Ram. It does manage to reach a height of 6, bounces back, lands on the schnabel. Looks like it almost wanted to park there or something, but then goes over and makes an incredible recovery. Great survivor for the Barnstormers, and guess what? I was wrong. It did just enough to help the Dodge Ram flop back down to a recovery. Look at that. It was a delayed reaction. Absolutely incredible. What a run. Copperheads, possibly inspired by what they just saw, the Impala has managed to turn Tucker Torpedo sideways. A little bit more force and that thing could still recover. Helicopter transport in danger. Transporter punches into a solid line. Nobody is gonna budge. We're backing up the hill. Rare flow for Emerald. Tries to get underneath Transporter. Can't quite do it. Gonna need some help. Chevy Custom providing the assist. The Transporter is flipping over. That's gonna be very close to 45, if not over. We'll see if it stays like that. The tuned Enzo with a beautiful undercut, but the Chevy Custom does a great job of leveling out and surviving it. And now the Transporter has turned itself back to safety. Baseline lines up. Nothing major on that hit, except the Chevy van levels out completely. The Eldorado slots in, just some minor movements. Nothing big, but the tuned Enzo and Baseline are gonna go flying in this next hit, I guarantee it. It's the Megalifter crane truck, and it does the job. The tuned Enzo taken out for Blitzkrieg. Baseline looking iffy. Cannot tell right now if Baseline is still in. That's a weird angle. I think it's probably in. Chevy ramp truck slots in. We're way back up the hill again. Pterotractyl gets loose, goes curbside. It's definitely going flying on the next hit. From High-Tech Missile, Pterotractyl handles it though, no problem. Gets underneath the arm of the Megalifter and makes the recovery happen. Jurassic still, no losses in this match. The Jimmy pushing underneath High-Tech Missile. High-Tech Missile is definitely gonna get hurled off the track on this next hit. Jet Threat zooms down, gets underneath the Jimmy. High-Tech Missile actually didn't end up getting hurled, just kind of drives onto the ramp truck, and that's a relatively safe spot, I think. Final car of the round, the Jeep Wrangler for Jurassic. It causes all kinds of stuff to happen. One of the wings breaks off of Jet Threat. It falls back, looks like it might fall over. It makes the recovery. The Jimmy survived. High-Tech Missile survived. Everybody survived. That was a triple recovery, the opposite of a triple takedown. Truly an outstanding performance by all the teams in this match. 2 eliminations in that round. So many cars left, and that's all we got. We gotta take a couple measurements, though. The custom Chevy for Dead and Gone scrapes by. Don't look at the bumper at the bottom. Look at the line on the top. Bumper is broken. Baseline in a weird spot for Crimson, but it survives 34. So 2 eliminations it will be. The Copperheads fall to 1. Just the Impala, never eliminated. But then again, so was the Tucker. Blitzkrieg falls from 4 to 3. Everybody else steady on this page? And over here, the story continues to be Jurassic Ride dominating in this match. Not a single loss. It could all change, but right now, they look very good. Tucker Torpedo never eliminated this season. The first perfect record falls. This season, Creature from the Black Lagoon tops the takedown list with 17 takedowns. Did not make the finals, but these 4 other vehicles did. The 58 Impala and the Schnabel looking pretty good at 8 each. Speaking of takedowns, that is a huge one. The Cheyenne Super 30, which has not been taken out this season, thrown over on its side. First elimination of this round, and bad news for Dead and Gone. Cookie's Crime Syndicate responsible for the takedown. Helicopter Transport in danger now, goes up on top of the Cadillac and just about turns over. Dodge Airflow attempts a getaway. Pierce Velocity cruises into Helicopter Transport, and look at this recovery for Dead and Gone. Just enough of a nudge for the Cheyenne to make that recovery happen. A stunning turnaround. So shocking, in fact, that a Joust fan has fallen on her face. The Dodge Ram slams into that pile, pushes everybody up to the front, does not manage to get the takedown on Helicopter Transport. Every takedown has been a fight in this competition. Baseline bounces off the trailer and makes a nice escape, a recovery. Crimson breathes a sigh of relief. And then Optimus Prime mounts that trailer and looks like he's about to stand up, maybe finish the transformation. It almost looked like he was going to take off walking there for a second, but then Optimus falls down on his face and survives. The Copperhead Impala mixes things up on the track. Trailer gets thrown off the track. The Impala just about escapes. Optimus kicks up a leg. Looks like he's doing some yoga, but whatever he's doing is keeping more than meets the eye in the match. Jurassic sends the transporter down, maybe trying to finish off the Impala. It does not work. The Impala escapes, and it looks like Optimus will be all right as well. No teams lost at the moment. The Chevy Custom pushes into the line. It looks like that line might start to tighten up now. We'll be backing down the track. Or would have been, but Rare Flow kind of throws the Chevy's back end up in the air and makes it go curbside. Then the Eldorado punches the Chevy off the track completely, sending Rareflow further down. Can Rareflow get underneath the transporter and give Jurassic its first loss? Boom, it does. Megalifter crane truck helping there, pushing Rareflow underneath the transporter. The transporter is lifting, but it is not going over. We still have no eliminations in this round. Turbo Beast, 110 gram smack, pushes the line farther forward. The transporter's trying to get out of there. It's getting kind of squished around. The Cadillac looks like it probably escaped. And then the Barnstormer Chevy ramp truck tightens things up. The perfect time for Fleet Flyer with Solaire ramp in tow to line up and set up a bit of a ramp. Wouldn't things be different right now if Preacher from the Black Lagoon was in this match? Oh, the normally reliable Velociracer hits the Solaire ramp, flips over, doesn't make the recovery for some reason. Just a bad bounce right there. Cannot use its tail to get back up. Could it be our elusive first elimination? The Jimmy takes a little hop off Solaire, goes up on top of the Fleet Flyer and parks. Not a great parking spot. I mean, you're not going to get a ticket, but... Yep, Rocket by Baby wanted to park up there as well. Couldn't do it, knocks Jimmy off, and they both go over and out. That is going to take us up to 3 losses now. 1 for Dead and Gone and 1 for Emerald. And now that ramp is taking its toll, having better results here than it has in a while. Chevy Fleetline goes up and over, and Cookie is going to lose one. And here comes the Schnabel for Industrial, trying to put the kibosh on that ramp, and does a pretty good job of it, although that is a rough position right there. That looks unsafe. Jet Threat, not enough power to do any damage. A little push, but I think we're locked in pretty good right there. And Jet Threat manages to stay locked in after that hit from the SVT Lightning, and we are lining up. High-Tech Missile finally breaks the line. Pterodactyl forced off the track, but there is so much real estate out there. Pterodactyl has no problem making that recovery. Jet Threat is going up now. Final car of the round, the Jeep Wrangler. Does it get an elimination? Jet Threat escapes, a nice little bounce out of the way right there. I cannot tell if that van is at an angle here. I think that's probably in, but we're gonna have to take a measurement. 4 eliminations outright in the round, and I'm hearing we're gonna take a couple measurements here. Looks like the van is in at 41 degrees. And it's the Cadillac, Cookie's Crime Syndicate Cadillac, 48 degrees. It is out. Cookie's Crime Syndicate suddenly loses 2 vehicles, and now they are in trouble. Dead and Gone and Emerald Undercurrent fall from 4 to 3, still doing quite well. That puts them at the same level as Industrial and Blitzkrieg. Copperhead still at 1. Cookie's Crime Syndicate is down to just 1. Jurassic Ride finally cracks and loses 1 down to 4. Crashers Barnstormers both at 3. More Than Meets the Eye just at 1. Here we go, round 5. Things are heating up now. We still haven't lost a team, but it is going to happen. In fact, we're going to have to lose all the teams except 1 to get to the end of this. Belt in, everybody. This is going to be a match for the ages. And Helicopter Transport luck finally runs out. It drives up on the Chevy ramp truck, but then the ramp truck goes over. Helicopter loses its footing, flips over, and I don't think it's coming back from that. That is going to be a loss for Industrial. Fleet Flyer doesn't do anything to help the situation, just boots Helicopter into the crate. The Chevy ramp truck goes along for the ride, and now Solaire is set up. Jet Threat does indeed like a ramp, using its jet powers on this one. Flops over to a nice recovery on that landing. Great news for Blitzkrieg. High-Tech Missile also has no problem with the ramp. Flips up, goes over. Looks like it might have a problem, but no. It's a pro. It's been doing great for Emerald this season. The Chevy van has a very low front and has a little wrestling match with Solaire right there. Decides not to go off the ramp, declines it, but is this going to be a safe place to be? Optimus pushes that van up on top of Fleet Flyer. It's kind of wedged in there. Something broke off completely, but the van is still alive. The Crime Syndicate's final vehicle, it launches the van over Fleet Flyer. It flips around, somehow makes a recovery. That van has been pulling off some miracles in this match. And then, boom, there goes the Impala, slamming 2 cars off of the road. The Cadillac handles it, and so does Optimus. No eliminations there. Jurassic sends down the Transporter again. Again, the Transporter trying to take Copperheads out of this match, and it's not gonna fly. The Impala settles down. The Lightning does nothing but cement that escape. Impala drives all the way over Baby Cookie, actually, to escape. Cookie a little too worried about her team to care about that. Industrial sends down the crane truck. The crane truck just about gets something to happen with Transporter, but Transporter manages to keep its balance, bounces off the ramp truck to safety. And not much for action until there, when Double Demon gets thrown off the track and makes a great recovery after that hit from the Cheyenne. And now Rareflow's trying to get underneath the crane. The Jeep Wrangler pushes into the pile. Little extra force there from Jurassic, but the crane is using its arm to good effect. Barnstormers send the Dodge Ram with trailer, a heavy hit. The line stays remarkably solid after that hit, and the crane escapes. And now another big vehicle, the Schnabel, lines up, pushes into the line, and we're backing up the hill already. And the line kept going back until Fusion Buster gets underneath Turbo Beast, tries to pry it off the road. The Custom Deluxe finishes the job, and there goes Turbo Beast. Blitzkrieg are gonna lose a car in this round. Fusion Buster trying to keep going through Baseline. Baseline somehow manages to hang on, and that was the final car of the round, so it looks like it will be fine. 2 eliminations in that round, and they were both long rigs. All 10 teams are still in this. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Blitzkrieg and Industrial both fall from 3 to 2. Dead and Gone and Emerald still at 3. And no change over here. Jurassic still out in the lead. More Than Meets the Eye and Cookies Crime Syndicate in danger. Round 6. Who will be the first team to be eliminated from the match? It has to happen. Will it happen soon? I would think so. But then again, the competition has been fierce. Fiercer than we've ever seen before in the finals. I wouldn't be surprised if we go to increased speeds very soon. And Fusion Buster puts Cheyenne in a dangerous spot. We saw what happened to Helicopter Transport last round. But this round, it's all fine. Fusion Buster survives a huge hit from Fleet Flyer. Cheyenne escapes and the ramp truck is just about gone. It looks like Solaire is a little bit higher up on the track than usual. But it doesn't matter. The Schnabel denies the ramp, pushes Fleet Flyer in one of the worst possible positions that I've ever seen that vehicle in. There is no way for it to balance there. It's gonna have to dismount, and it looks like Pierce Velocity is trying to force the issue. It looks like Solaire might have got loose in the back. Will Solaire fall out? The Impala hits what is becoming a very tight line. Flyer slides. Optimus drives on top of the Impala. Cookie goes flying into the crates. Optimus just poised there, staring at the roof. The Cadillac knocks Optimus off the roof. Clean getaway right there. More Than Meets the Eye stays alive again. And Fleet Flyer slides, tips, and I'm not sure if it's in or out right now. Transporter cannot take the Cadillac out. Looks like Cookie's in good shape for now. But then the Lightning struggles with the back of the Cadillac, floating up and going over next to Transporter. Uh-oh, a car that has not been eliminated this season. Chevy van locks it in behind that Cadillac, has that nice low front, and the Lightning pretty much unchanged. Rare Flow, though, about as low as they go, forces the van up, ousts it from the track, tips it over sideways. Dead and Gone are going to lose one. They still had a bonus action, too. That would have been a good trade-in vehicle, but no longer. Double Demon hits the line, nothing doing. Rare Flow gets underneath the Cadillac, however. The crane truck zooms into position. The Cadillac is thrown off the track by Rare Flow. Also, Double Demon taken out with that hit. And the Lightning goes completely over now. That would have been a triple, but I think the SVT was already out. Speaking of out, I do believe Cookie's Crime Syndicate are out of this match unless the Cadillac mounts a recovery of some sort. Pterodactyl in an odd position here. And it gets bashed by the Dodge Ram, thrown over by the Chicken Rings Onion Wings vehicle. Not into it, like what happened earlier, but makes the recovery. And it looks like Jet Threat has made a recovery here, too. The Chevy Custom has trouble with the trailer of the Dodge Ram, flips up in the air, does a big old wheelie, flops down, looks like it's going to be okay. But then at the last second, gets blocked by the trailer and taken out. Dead and Gone lose another. High-tech missile acting very missile-like on that hit, just smashing into the line, poking it. And then Baseline hits that cluster. The Dodge Ram gets pushed. It falls backwards. It is sideways. And that could be a loss for Barnstormers. And then the final car of the round, the Jeep Wrangler for Jurassic. Baseline has no problem with it. Bounces out, escapes. The Dodge Ram is finished. And with that, round 6 is over, and we are finally going to lose our first team. And wow, there was a lot of eliminations compared to the previous rounds. The Impala lost its front bumper, but hey, it's still in the match for Copperheads. 6 eliminations in that round. Dead and Gone sustained 2 losses. They are down to just 1. None of the other 4 on this side lost anything. Here's where the damage was. Barnstormers lost 2. They are down to just the ramp truck. Crimson Crashers lost Double Demon, who helped them get into the finals. And Cookie's Crime Syndicate will be the first team to fall. They were ranked 10th, and they will get 10th place. 4 teams now are down to just 1 car, but Jurassic Ride has 4 times that many cars. They have 4 remaining, and they are still doing incredible. The F-150 has been solid for Barnstormers, but the perfect record is gone. Jurassic with 4, Emerald with 3 remaining. Industrial has 2, but they are big ones, and Fusion Buster survives an attack by the crane lifter right there. Gets thrown over by the height tower, where Baby Cookie is still napping from last round. Here's Velocity enters the fray. We got both armed vehicles on the track. Fleet Flyer still in the match for Crimson, and now the ramp's set up. The Dodge Airflow escapes. The Cheyenne stays alive for Dead and Gone. Look at that little flip it makes and escapes the track. Incredible agility from that wide vehicle. The Chevy ramp just kind of covers Solaire up. Tries to set up its own sort of ramp. The Impala starts to push the ramp truck just about straight up in the air. Not a safe position. Optimus Prime pushes the ramp truck even farther up the back of Fleet Flyer. It slides down onto the track. The transporter strikes. It is not enough to take out the ramp truck. The Barnstormers keep hope alive. Rareflow locks it in. Can't get underneath transporter, at least not yet. The Schnabel with the assist. Transporter goes over and it stays alive. It looks close right now, but that's definitely a recovery. Jet Threat straightens Transporter out, doesn't do any damage. Baseline slams into position. Then Pterodactyl takes a shot at Baseline. Can't quite flip it over, but it does look to be in danger right here. High-tech missile with the takedown. Pterodactyl taken out. Jurassic are finally going to fall to 3 if it stays like that. And very bad news for Crimson. They may have just lost Baseline. Final hit of the round, the Jeep Wrangler, and Jet Threat survives the attempted takedown. Pterodactyl almost gets a recovery out of that. Not quite enough force. We are going to have 2 eliminations in round 7. We are still at 9 teams. Taking a look at the aftermath. Crimson falls to 1, and it is not one that they have had around this late in a match usually. Jurassic fall to 3, tied with Emerald for the lead comp. Last season's champs, Crimson Crashers, are in dire straits in this match, it looks like to me. The Dodge Airflow slots in. Fusion Buster escapes for Emerald. Pierce Velocity only manages to knock the track buffer off. Megalifter Crane Truck takes a jab at the Pierce Velocity, but Pierce is savvy to it. Just about escapes. A nice gentle tap from the Cheyenne Super 30, locking it in, keeping Dead and Gone around. A big bash from Fleet Flyer. Look at this. The crane truck has gone over the rounded back of the Dodge Airflow, proving to be its demise. Going over on its weak side, sticking that arm up in the air. That looks beyond 45 to me. It's very close. Industrial might be in trouble. The Chevy ramp truck drives up Solaire and sticks in normal position. Optimus Prime and Baby Cookie. Cookie liking to take these post-run naps over by the tower right now for some reason. More than meets the eye, still going. And as I say that, the Copperhead strike. Optimus Prime is turned over, flipped upside down on his back. That is out, and More Than Meets the Eye are certainly finished. They will get 9th place in the match. Another team falls. We are down to 8. Rareflow slotting. Transporter blasts into position. The ramp truck is moving up. Jet Threat pushes in. Ramp truck farther. The Schnabel attempting to eliminate another team. The ramp truck survives it again. Rareflow just about got squeezed off the track on that hit too. Jet Threat is poised. High-tech missile hits the wall. Jet Threat goes over. Looks pretty stable right now and safe. And as usual, the Jeep Wrangler and Jeff Goldblum wrap things up in the round for Jurassic. PD takes a spill, no eliminations there. We know that More Than Meets the Eye are out with the loss of Optimus Prime. We're going to take a measurement on the arm of the crane lifter, and it looks like it is finished. Industrial are going to lose their crane. 2 losses in round 8. Industrial falls to 1, along with Dead and Gone and the Copperheads. Emerald still at 3, Blitzkrieg at 2. And we say goodbye to More Than Meets the Eye, who made it all the way from the minor leagues. Barnstormers and Crashers at 1, Jurassic at 3. Here we go, round 9. It's the finals. Who's next? 7 teams remain. Fusion Buster in place. The Airflow with a devastating takedown. There goes Fusion Buster. Emerald are gonna fall to 2 immediately unless they get lucky. Get a recovery. Here's Velocity slots in. Airflow goes curbside. The Cheyenne doesn't do any damage. The Airflow has almost escaped, but not quite. Industrial forced to send down the Schnabel. It's the only vehicle they have left. Airflow gets away. Fleet Flyer slams into the line, sets up Solaire. The Chevy ramp seems to be able to handle this ramp. Every time it just drives up and then escapes. The Impala takes a shot at it, and it does it again. This thing has been coming through for the Barnstormers. Didn't show that much skill earlier in the season. Hits a height of 7 and then makes the landing, stepping it up when it matters. It's going to have to do a lot more of that to take Barnstormers to the top 5. Rareflow with a little boink on the Impala. It does not do damage. Boom! A takedown attempt from the Transporter. Rareflow handles it, keeps level, but is looking a lot more loose than it has. Not able to undercut these remaining vehicles. Jet Threat 4 slots in the length on that Impala, proving to be helpful with the Solaire ramp. High-tech missile shoulders Jet Threat aside, but it handles it no problem. And here comes Jeff and the Jeep to finish off the round. Uneventful except for the 1 loss in that round. Jurassic taking down Fusion Buster and cementing their lead in the match with 3 remaining. Emerald falls to 2, tied with Blitzkrieg. Round 10, we are off to the races. Interesting to note that the leaders in this match are also the teams with the most eliminations. Emerald and Jurassic both have 6 eliminations, and Jurassic's Airflow has been responsible for 5 takedowns just by itself. Even more than Crimson's ramp, the Fleet Flyer. And now back to the action. The Impala, which has barely registered on the takedown scale, adds another one to its tally. Rareflow is done. Emerald is going to lose a very important car to their team. And actually, forget everything I just said. The Cheyenne rescues Rareflow, and there are no eliminations in this round. At least not yet. The Schnabel pulls into position. The ramp truck goes up on the safety rail. Fleet Flyer just smashes the line forward a little bit more. I don't think it's going much farther than that. Transporter launches off the ramp. It does not go well. Transporter is upside down. Finished off. First elimination of the round, and Jurassic needs that vehicle. Ooh, Jet Threat also has bad luck, and now Crimson is going to take the lead in eliminations in this match. That is 2 big ones right there. They're all big ones right now. High-tech missile also eliminated on that ramp. Flops over, looks like it might land on top of the Schnabel, but then it goes sideways. In this round, the Jeep Wrangler, the only vehicle to survive the leap off of that thing. And now suddenly Crimson has redrawn the map of this competition. 3 eliminations in the round. Let's take a look at the rapidly changing aftermath. Emerald and Blitzkrieg both fall to 1. They are equal with all the other teams, except for Jurassic, who still have 2 despite losing 1 in that round. The Plesiosaurus Transporter loses its perfect record, just the Limo and the Cheyenne still in it. And as we head into round 11, we have 8 remaining teams. 7 of them only have 1 car remaining, but still to have this many teams in the match in round 11. Absolutely incredible. Pierce Velocity has to take the ramp, or at least starts to take it, and gets kind of perched up on top of Fleet Flyer. The ramp truck does not change anything. Glad to have a break from going off that ramp itself. Pretty big slam from the Schnabel, and Pierce Velocity is almost all the way up on top of Fleet Flyer. And we are really getting down to the wire. Any eliminations besides Jurassic, the team is finished. With that in mind, I'm not surprised. A bonus action finally being used. Dead and Gone are going to send the Cheyenne Super 30 to the end of the line. It will go last in this round, and I see why. Rare Flow right behind it. I think they're getting worried about that undercut. So now Rare Flow gets stopped on the wall. Pierce Velocity slides. And a big hit from the 58 Impala. Pierce Velocity is safe. Rare Flow is in deep trouble. The Cheyenne did not want any part of getting hit by both of those cars. And the bonus actions are flying. Jurassic Ride has announced they want to use a bonus action. They're going to swap. They're going to swap Jeff Goldblum and the Jeep for the Transporter. That does not surprise me at all. They know that Transporter is good. They don't really trust that Jeep very much. Rare Flow with an amazing recovery right there. It is Emerald's last chance, a car that once took Emerald out of the finals, and now it's the only thing keeping them in. The Cheyenne comes down, doesn't do any damage, but doesn't get eliminated, so successful bonus action there. No eliminations in the round, and with 9 cars left, we will go to increased speeds. All the cars are going to have to pick up the pace a little bit, and we'll see how much of a difference that makes. Who will be the next team to fall? Industrial coming down second, and they slam the airflow forward, but it stays on the track, and both cars bounce way back. The Impala doesn't do anything but tighten the line up. Increased speeds not mattering so far. Until now, maybe the Rare Flow goes curbside on that big hit. It is vulnerable in a big way. Pierce Velocity with a massive slam, and look at Rare Flow fly up in the air. It bounces on top of the Schnabel, flops over to the ground, and makes the recovery. But I gotta tell you, Emerald is not looking safe right now with stuff like that happening. Fleet Flyer is lined up, and it will be the death knell for Dead and Gone. The Cheyenne Super 30 hits that ramp, and finally its luck runs out. A vehicle that had never been eliminated, though it had a close call earlier in the match. It's finally out, and Dead and Gone are going to get 8th place. The ramp truck for Barnstormers has not had much of a problem with Solaire. And Transporter doesn't do anything to change that, but does manage to survive this time. Jurassic worried it will get eliminated by that thing, but it makes it off to safety. And with 1 loss and 1 team eliminated, we end round 11, going on into round 12 without our number 1 seeded team, Dead and Gone. They will place 8th in the competition. 7 teams left, 8 cars. That's another perfect record down the drain. Only the Impala stands in this category. And that thing has been keeping Copperhead's hopes alive for quite a while in this match, as the airflow slots in for Jurassic. Former champs Crimson still going, and there is a takedown from the front of Fleet Flyer. It drives onto the safety barrier. It has taken down the 1 car that could be taken down in the match without eliminating a team. The airflow is gone. Pierce Velocity struggles a little bit with that ramp, but manages to stick around. I'm not sure it's in a good position right here, though. Emerald Undercurrent are opting to use an end-of-the-line bonus action. They're going to send Rare Flow all the way to the back. They don't like what they see right here. Honestly, I think everybody is afraid of this Impala. This thing can be very dangerous. But it is also going to the end of the line. Emerald cannot escape the Impala. Copperheads don't want to go off that ramp either. They're going to force the Chevy ramp truck to go down for the Barnstormers. Chevy ramp has no problem with it. Pierce Velocity is okay. But now we're going to have a little standoff at the end of this round. The Schnabel comes down. It forces the Chevy ramp truck up off the ramp. The ramp truck's luck finally ran out. It flips over, can't make that recovery. The Barnstormers have been taken out. And now Crimson's ramp is ineffective. It wobbles a little bit up front. Transporter glad it does not have to take that ramp. Other teams able to use the Schnabel to protect themselves. And now here comes our two teams that use their bonus actions. Emerald manages to get underneath the Transporter, and you know who's coming next. Could Jurassic lose 2 in this round and be out? The Impala strikes and does not get the elimination. A nice level landing by the Transporter. Rareflow getting underneath the Schnabel, but it doesn't matter. That was it. We will have 2 eliminations in the round, and we'll lose a team. Let's take a look at the aftermath. 9th ranked Barnstormers. They made it all the way from the minor leagues to the finals, and they got 7th place. Not too shabby. We will see them again next season for the Season of Colors. Jurassic is down to just the Transporter. No one has bonus actions left. Round 14, here we go. The running order is going to be mixed up now pretty good. There's only 1 car for each team. Rareflow coming down first, taking position at just about the end of the ramp. Actually goes right under Evil Weevil and is going to use Evil Weevil as its own personal buffer. Crimson Crasher's Fleet Flyer slams the Rareflow forward, hits the safety barrier, bounces backwards, tries to escape. It gets crushed by the Fleet Flyer. Taken down. Emerald Undercurrent are out of this match, eliminated by Crimson Crashers. The Schnabel runs into position. Another team down. They are falling quickly now. The Transporter slams into the Schnabel. The Schnabel is tipping. It could go over. Industrial hanging on by a thread. Here comes the Impala. Amazing job there by the Schnabel trailer. It manages to stay upright and alive, and I don't think it's going anywhere this round. Nope, it's squished in there nice and tight. Pierce Velocity cruises into position, and that will do it for round 14. Just 1 elimination in that round, and it will be Emerald Undercurrent. They will place 6th in this competition. We're at round 15. Every team has 1 vehicle left. 5 teams remaining. This time, the Impala starts us off. The Schnabel and Impala tangle a little bit, bobble back and forth. Both of them stay locked in. Pierce Velocity with a punch starts to tip just a bit, but the arm, as usual, protecting it. Fleet Flyer with a big slam. The Pierce Velocity handles it like a champ, driving off to safety and ensuring Blitzkrieg survival for another round. The Transporter forced to take Fleet Flyer's ramp yet again, but does the job this time. Just about flipping, but managing to dismount safely. Close call for Jurassic. And that was already 5 cars. We're going to max out the speeds. These vehicles are going to take some serious hits now. Get ready for this. The Transporter first down, rockets into position, bounces way back. The Schnabel comes down next, locks things up a little bit better. The Impala tightens things up further. All 3 vehicles still locked on the track. Pierce Velocity cannot stay on the track at all. Goes off the Impala, completely escapes though. Blitzkrieg not going to argue with those results. They want to make it all the way to number 1. But Crimson is not going to give it up. The Fleet Flyer has been excelling in this match. Stays on the track, a little bit curbside, but it lives, and that's all that needed to happen. And because there were no eliminations in that round, we are going to no holds barred. The track buffer will be removed from the track. Now it's just the cars and the safety rail and nothing in between. Round 17, Fleet Flyer starting off. Can this 205-gram vehicle handle the safety rail? It does, bouncing back and actually managing to lock back in, which will set up that ramp. And at these speeds, oh boy. Even at these speeds, the Schnabel is handling that ramp. How is Crimson going to take this vehicle out? Can they take it out? The Impala gives it a shove, and there's nothing it can do. It wobbles, but it stays around. Pierce Velocity pushes into the line, and uh-oh. The Fleet Flyer is tipping just a little bit up towards the front. The Transporter has chosen to go down backwards. 113-gram vehicle. That back end has been devastating in previous matches, but this time, nothing doing. Unbelievable. All these vehicles just stayed around in the first round of no holds barred. A close call for Crimson, but we're moving on to the next round, round 18. Pierce Velocity gets the draw this time. And no holds barred has its first victim. Pierce Velocity not able to handle the dismount from the track. It headbutts the crates, kind of looks like it's stunned or something, flips over and is upside down. Blitzkrieg will not be the champs. Fleet Flyer next. Boom! Another casualty of no holds barred. Fleet Flyer hits the rail, bounces back, cannot handle the dismount from the track. That is 2 down already in this round. 2 teams eliminated. The former champs are not going to make it back. Next up, the Transporter. We'll see if it has better luck. High-speed hit, the bounce back, and it handles it. It does not escape the track, which would have been nice. It's going to get clobbered now, right in the cab. Can Jurassic hold on? The hit will be from the 58 Impala for Copperheads. Impala slams into the Transporter. It has no problem escaping. The Impala hits the safety barrier, bounces back a little bit, but only a slight wobble. It is locked in. The Schnabel finishes off the round with a little tussle. Nothing major, no eliminations, but we've lost 2 big ones. And that is going to take us down to just 3 remaining vehicles. 4th and 5th have been determined, but 1st, 2nd, and 3rd have not. 5th ranked Blitzkrieg are out. 7th ranked Crimson Crashers are out. Blitzkrieg will score 4th place, having had more vehicles alive longer than Crimson, who gets 5th place. And we are going into round 19, starting off with the Transporter for Jurassic. A fairly steady bounce back this time. Right now, we're either going to have a champion that has won the championship twice already, or we're going to have a brand new champion. That will be Jurassic or Industrial. Impala's nice and level on that hit, no takedown. And then the hit from the Schnabel, it pushes them all forward. But there's a little bounce back for the Transporter, and it goes askew. I don't think it's beyond 45. That does not even look close enough to take a measurement. So a reasonably close call, but we are going to go back up to the top and do it again. Round 20, here we go. The Schnabel gets the draw for Industrial. We've seen the Schnabel have problems with the safety rail, and it doesn't this time. Actually bounces back better than it usually does. Jurassic has elected to send down the Transporter backwards again. I'm not sure it's going to do anything to the Schnabel. It doesn't. Actually locks the Schnabel in and makes sure that it's safe. Will this backfire? And now Copperheads elect to send down the Impala backwards. The Impala slams into the line. It doesn't make a difference backwards or forwards. Things are so tight. How will these 3 vehicles take each other down? We are at maximum speed. There is no track buffer. Impala starting us off. Can the Impala do anything in first position? It does manage to stay locked in. This thing is good in this situation. The Schnabel coming down next, wrestles with that car. It actually goes a little bit up on one side this time, but stays locked in on the track. These 2 do not seem able to take each other out. The Transporter coming down backwards again, cannot do anything. Back up to the top, we're gonna run it again. No matter how many laps this takes, we will get a winner. A new champion must be crowned. These cars have to find a way to take each other down. Or unbelievably, as in the case of what just happened, the Transporter has taken itself out. Hits that safety rail, goes up instead of backwards. I think the thing is busted. I think the safety rail is completely busted. And that's why we had that weird interaction, and it went badly for the Transporter. Can the Impala handle it? The Impala handles it. It bounces and spins a little bit, but nobody's bouncing back off that safety rail now because it's broken. This seems to happen more frequently nowadays with these larger vehicles. Might have to come up with a new system for next season. A massive collision from the Schnabel. It flips over sideways, and did you see that recovery by the Transporter? That is exactly the opposite of what Industrial wanted to happen, but wow, Jurassic was saved by that hit. Let's take another look at that accidental recovery. We're going to slow it down even more. Take a look at what happens. The Schnabel collides with the Impala. It pushes into the Transporter. The Transporter manages to hook itself, flip over, and the Impala survives the hit. Meanwhile, the Schnabel trailer flips over, cannot handle the safety barrier in its current condition, and it'll be out. Industrial will get third this season. With that and second place last season, Industrial have established themselves as a titan in the joust. And now we are down to 2. The Transporter Jurassic Ride versus the Impala for 2-time champs Copperheads. The Transporter hits the broken safety rail. It goes up. It is upside down basically, but somehow manages to get back upright again. Does a little pivot. Wow, that just doesn't even look natural. Jurassic Ride using some sort of magic to get back upright, and there is a hit by the Impala. Spins Transporter around. It survives the hit. The Impala survives. We're going back up to the top yet again. What round is it? I can't even keep track. That was round 23. We're going to round 24. This could be a while. We'll see what happens now. These cars will start swapping positions each round. And maybe that's not going to happen after all. Impala just smashes into the crates, blows through that safety barrier, flips up in the air, and cannot make the recovery. Transporter just has to survive this hit, and they win the championship. And boom, there it is, a massive collision with the crates. It bounces back, it stays upright, and wins Jurassic Ride the competition. 24 rounds of some of the most fierce competition I've ever seen in Junkyard Joust. Round after round where barely any cars got taken out. The Copperheads will not get their third championship, not yet anyway. A fantastic showing by them, and if not for Industrial's miracle recovery help with Transporter, Copperheads would have had it. But the Impala was taken down in the end. No perfect record survived this season. The Transport having been eliminated earlier in the match, but brought back with a bonus action. That was clutch. And here you have the final 10. These point totals do not play into the match at all, but if there'd been a tie, they would have been important. And there you have it, your winners, Jurassic Ride, first-time champions. They had to work to get it, but they made it happen, and they are the Junkyard Joust World Champions. They look solid this season. They brought the offense in this final match. The Impala is going to get the most valuable player. This car was working solo since round 3 in this match and scored the Copperheads second place. And that'll do it for this season of Junkyard Joust. I'm really excited about the next season of Junkyard Joust. It's going to be a really bright and colorful, fun time. A lot of teams coming back that you saw years ago. Next week, we are back to the Apocalypse Joust. Going to wrap up the qualifiers in the next 2 episodes. Thank you for watching, everybody. Let me know in the comments what your favorite team color is. I'm kind of curious. See you next time on The Joust.